Greetings. Not long ago, I decided to pull out my Commodore 64C because I hadn't played anything on it for a while, and I thought it would be fun to play something on it. So I set it up, got one of my favorite games out, which is River Raid. Plugged it in, and it came up using one of my favorite monitors. It's a small Sony, but it does have composite video and audio inputs on it, so it's really nice for testing. So as I started to play, I keep forgetting they don't have a start button on these. I guess it's F1. And as I was playing it, it was awfully quiet. No sound. Yes, I did have the volume turned up, but I jiggled the connector, I tried a whole bunch of things, and no sound. So I did a little bit of fault isolation first. I hooked the Commodore up to another monitor, to an LCD monitor, plugged it in, and there was sound. So it's not the Commodore, it's not the AV cable, it's the Sony. So yeah, sorry for the flickering, but it is what it is. It's not flickering in real life. But I guess we have to tear this guy apart because something's gone bad in the audio path. Well, one thing I noticed actually while opening it up, was that when tapping the case on the side, I would get some crackly noises coming out of the speaker. It didn't exactly sound like it was playing the game sound, but obviously there's something loose in there. So what I did, when you do that, you usually have a cold solder joint somewhere in there. So using this plastic implement, and don't do this at home, boys and girls, this TV was just on, and there's probably a lot of voltage creeping around in here, but this is just for entertainment purposes. Don't do as I say. But what I did was I started with using a plastic implement, tapping on the PCBs. I mean, I shook the power supply, and there's the TV tuner, which is out of view. But the TV tuner doesn't really have anything to do with it because it's in AV mode. So I tapped all over the place, and while the game was running, so I had to have the monitor on, but nothing happened until I got to this section, which is near impossible to show, but when I started tapping in this area over here, I did get some noise output, similar to what was happening when I was hitting the side of the case. Why am I not showing this to you? Because it automatically got fixed, almost, and I wasn't filming it. But it's not hard to show, so you're just going, you tap in here, and this entire section here seemed to cause crackles in the sound. And at one point, I think I pressed it in just the right place next to this capacitor or something and held it in a certain position, and the sound came back. Looking at this, removing, well, obviously I had to remove this PCB, and it's buried in there. I have to do a lot of disassembly, and since I'm lazy by nature, I just thought, hey, let's go on tapping this and see if we can actually identify the component. I mean, I'll still have to take it apart, but you know, at least we'll know exactly what's going on. So I tapped, and again, the whole area was not conclusive, but then I started tapping this green guy over here, and that's the headphone input. And the sound would come back tapping this. So the theory there was that when you're plugging headphones into this, I mean, when you're plugging headphones into this, it cuts out the speaker, which is the whole purpose of headphones, is not to disturb your fellow man or woman. And then when you pull it out, so when you're plugging in the headphone jack, it disconnects a contact inside the switch as to prevent the audio from going to the amp or the speaker, and it just comes out of the headphone jack. Well, it still looked like I was going to have to get this PCB out and do some resoldering, but maybe there was another way. So I hope this shows up on the video, but when you plug in a headphone jack here, and you look at it closely, there is this copper-colored contact here that comes out when you plug in the jack for the headphones. And when you pull out the jack, it retracts. So my guess was, what if this contact is corroded? So even though without a jack it's supposed to be closed, well, it's closed, but the contact surfaces are corroded, so the sound can't pass. Now, what usually people will do at this point, at least what I've seen, is they'll take a can of contact cleaner, deoxit, whatever, and spray a lot of it in that switch. I don't like doing that because you basically got that sticky liquid all over your PCB. And second of all, using deoxit, that stuff's not cheap. And doing it that way wastes a lot of it. So here's the big secret. You buy your deoxit in liquid form in this solvent container type thing, and you stick it in there and you put a few drops. Well, actually what I did was I plugged in a mini jack so the contact would extend outward of the PCB, and I put 2 drops of deoxit on the part that extended outward from the green box. I then worked the jack in and out a few times, and I think that was what fixed it. And was it really that easy, you wonder? Let's see. It made it click. So and it made a beep. And another beep. Don't shoot the fuel. Don't fly into a ship. Don't shoot the fuel. Well, there you have it. Things aren't always what they seem to be. So a corroded contact on the headphone jack caused this not to have any sound. And fortunately, I did not start to attempt to remove the main logic, the main PCB out of this, because it's pretty deeply embedded in there. You have to remove a lot of things to get to it in their quest for miniaturization. I guess the more miniaturized something is, the harder it is to service. And just for grins, let's switch this back to TV mode to make sure that the sound's coming out of there too, even though I can't dial in any channels. Yep, it's working. I don't want to tap it too hard because with the case removed, the PCBs, there's some vertical PCBs in there which are only supported by the upper part of the case. So if I tap it too hard, they're going to self-destruct. But there we go. Well, that was short and sweet, maybe a bit too short. So I thought I'd show you something else I picked up recently. This Action branded CRT portable TV. This is a 5-inch screen. The Sony's 9 inches. And I saw this sitting on a shelf at a thrift shop. The screen looked kind of hazy when I looked at it in the store, but as I picked it up, and it did take quite some effort to pick this thing up because it weighs about a pound, if that. I noticed that the reason the screen was hazy was it still had the protective film on it. And once I pulled that off, we had a perfect screen. Now again, this is going to flicker in the video, but it looks very nice in real life. It is black and white. And the way I tested this was I just took the Commodore has an RF output that's already modulated to channel 4, I think it's set to. And, well, here's what it looks like. Click. That was the power switch. And there you go. Let's see. Okay, I gotta get... Got a bit of a buzz, but let's see. Real hi-fi sound, and it works like a charm. I can't wait to test this, with something that outputs 80 columns of text. Boom. But who says you can't get any more good bargains at a thrift shop? Well, there she is. I'm running into the antenna input over here. and it's got an external power supply. It does take batteries, but I don't remember. Let's see, does it say on here? It takes like a lot of batteries. This entire bottom has to be filled with C cells or D cells or whatever, but there it is. That's really cool, and what I'm going to do now is try to connect all of my computers to it and see. I bet you it'll work fine with a VIC-20, because that's like what, 4 characters across or something. But there she is. I'm sure I'll find a good use for it. Thanks for watching. Give me a like if you think I deserve one. And we'll see you next time.